Hey, good morning. All right, if you guys are not seeing that little red live button up in the top of the corner, that means you're catching a replay. So if y'all comment hashtag replay in the comments, that'd be awesome. Live. Haven't done a Facebook Live in a while, so we'll see. I usually do TikTok if my signal is just fine out here. So for some reason, it looks glitchy or frozen to you guys, let me know. I'm going to give it a second, let a few of y'all pop on, and I'm going to put some other garments on, because this is what I usually do on TikTok. I usually have one in front of the camera that I show you guys, and then I have a bunch of other ones that y'all don't see that I'm working on while y'all are watching this live. Because we always get like, oh, good morning. So we always get lots of questions about like how long does it take to get white, and some of those things. So it's very cool to let you guys watch it all live and in real time so that y'all can see the total process. So while we wait for other people to hop on, I'm just going to be walking around so you'll hear the rocks. Eventually I'll get some music going. Eventually I'll have my iPad charged and I'll get music for like the next time we do this. So the idea behind this is basically, this is going to stay in the group. So as we start adding members, hey, good morning. So as members start joining, watch it too. If if you're like, I tried it and it didn't work, what did I do? Or what should I do? This is kind of why it's there. So looks like we've got a good group of y'all. Like I said, I'm just going to set up some shirts I'm going to give it about a couple of minutes, not too much longer. And if you're a person that is watching this on a replay, you could probably skip to a couple of minutes while we wait. I know, and I feel like they're 1 minute TikTok, so you can't put so much information in there. So I figured this would be easy. I go live on TikTok quite often because honestly, if I go live on TikTok, it usually bumps us in the algorithm, and a lot of our videos get back on the For You page. So I try to do it often because I'm trying to get our content out there more. So honestly, it'd be awesome if you guys would all go and like comment and like copy, share, link on all of our videos, because the more views we have, the more TikTok creator money we get, the more we can put into you guys, because we're using all of our creator fund money to just buy things to teach y'all different techniques. A lot of people have asked for tumblers, so we're investing in tumblers. We're going to invest in a convection oven to show y'all what to get. We're doing that. We're probably going to buy an Epson printer with it. We're going to convert a printer and do a whole series on converting a printer. So for those of you that haven't done it yet and want to do it, or for those of you that have done it and it's not working, that'll be the series for y'all. So let me get a few more added. That way I can be working as I teach you guys, and it's not a wasted day. So this one's going to be a Highland cow. So we're going to use a Highland cow cutout. You know, I feel like a lot of people hate their Epsons. I had somebody message me this morning. They're trying to get the paper that we use to print in the Epson, and it's too thick and it's not working. And I remember when I bought that paper, that it said it had to have like special settings. And I remember seeing what those special settings were for like a converted printer, but I can't find them now. So I have to do some more research. But then I have like somebody commented in the group like that their teal is printing different ways. So I feel like they're great once they're set up right, but getting them set up right can be a pain in the butt sometimes. So I'm hoping that if I convert one for you guys, that it's not that bad. Okay. So see, I got me a hoodie on this one. So we're working on sweaters and hoodies. So, and the reason why I do that, I do those first. If I got them to do, they're going to get done first. And I do that because when I first started doing them, I would do them last. And I would lose the sun. So I would get the sun setting kind of sun, and it wasn't enough. So if you're going to do sweaters or sweatshirts, do those in like the strongest part of your sun for the day. That way, you don't have to worry about losing your sun. Can everybody hear me? Ebony, you probably might have your sound muted. Or either that or I'm walking away too far. But y'all let me know if you can hear me. Real quick. And because I'm about to get started and I want to make sure y'all can hear me. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, good. Will somebody type out to Ebony that she might have to come back in, like go out, come back in, or turn up her sound? Because I need a moderator. All right, so here we go. Oh, I meant to walk on the other way. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is our... Oh, no worries. Glad you got it. I was like, oh my gosh, I just talked this long and nobody heard me. Okay, so I use pizza box inside my sweaters, my sweatshirts, and my shirts. And I do this for a couple of reasons. One, they last a really long time. You can see this one's been, you see all the like white splatters. It's not affected the box in any way. So, and you see the tag sticking through it. I usually will write a list of what shapes need to go on what sizes, but I have like mommy brain still and I will forget. So usually I put it where the tag is in the center anyways, and that hole is in the center as well. So if I center everything there with that hole, a couple of things, I can see the size. I don't have to pick it up. I don't have to try to I don't have to mess it up on the board, so that I know what's going to go on it. And then two, I know it's centered, so I can use that hole in the middle as my center line for when I line up my cutout. So if I line up my bleach and my cutout area out here, when I take it to sublimate, I know that that's already been done. It's already where I need it. It's already lined up. I don't have to worry about doing that again. I looked at my weather forecast this morning. Y'all were supposed to have clouds too. So it's windy, but I'm gonna try to make this work. All right, and I will tell y'all it's a little off. And the reason why I know that is because when I'm looking at it like this, I don't have it 100% lined up with that hole in the pizza box, but it's pretty dang close. So I usually start playing around with it and like pull it over or get it where it needs to be. But with these cutouts, once you line it up in the middle or where you think you have it lined up, then you want to look at the outside edge. The way we've made ours, now the one I use is not like that, because that's my husband's fault. But the way we've made the ones that we're shipping out to you guys tomorrow is that they are even on both sides. So they have 3.5 inches on both sides. So if you have the same amount of, if you have the same amount left on this side and the same amount left over on this side, there we go, on this side, then, you know, it's even. So this side, my right side is just a little bit wider than my left side, so I always have to take that into consideration. So I usually will like step back, look at it, make sure that it's as close as possible, given that the right side is gonna look about a half inch off. And to me, that looks good. And so here's another thing I want to mention. When we did embroidery or we did any kind of things that you put something on the shirt, the rule of thumb is always 3 fingers underneath the neckline. So I'm going to move this up just slightly. And I'm going to set it right on top of where that neckline is. So that way it's right at 3 inches. And that's what I've been doing, is I set it up right at either right at the base or right over the top. Now you see it kind of sticks up a little bit when you do that. So you just want to be careful when you spray. It's not going to really bother if you put it like right there, right underneath it. Either way, it doesn't really matter. It's just, you're going to have to play around with these and kind of figure out your personal preference type of a deal. So I'm going to move it up just a little bit more. And then what I also do too, since this one's off, is usually I will put my hand here. And I go, okay, my pinky's touching here and my thumb's touching the outer. And then I'll come over here, do the same thing. And my pinky's touching here. My thumb's touching, my pinky's touching, thumb's touching. That looks pretty close. And then I'm just showing y'all kind of what I do. I don't do this detailed, honestly. And I'm like, it's there, it's close, it's what we did. That's what it's made for. It's good. All right. So then, on to the bleach. So we've got a couple of spray bottles. They're all the same spray bottle. They just are all set differently. So we use the $1 Great Value Walmart bottles. That's all we use. This one, because it's got that nozzle, so you can turn it this way, turn it that way, and adjust how it's going to come out. So this one is set onto like a fine mist, so it's going to spray like small mist, more like that. And then I'll show you the other one and what it's set on in just a sec. So I tried to like squat down and I hit a rock, so I was gonna fall backwards. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna spray all inside that design area. What I usually do is, well, I lied. That one was my jet setter that I filled up. Okay. Y'all saw it splurted. So this one is the mister. I filled up the bleach bottles this morning. I always do that. All right. So I always start on the outside edge and I kind of start to go all the way around like that. And then I'll go inside that outside edge line that I just sprayed. And then I keep going until I'm in the middle. Usually that's really all you need. You don't need to overdo it. Sweaters, I will usually come in and go like a couple of more sprays just to make sure. But you don't want to overdo it because you can oversaturate it. And if you oversaturate it, that's usually where you get some of those bleeding. And that's, so on some of the shirts that you might have seen on that I have done in the past, they've got some areas where it comes outside of the circle or outside of your cutout, and that's usually why. So now we're going to take the bottle that I showed you guys, and that's going to be the jet setting spray. It's the same bottle, it's just set to a jet setting. It is 100%, sorry, I should have mentioned that. We don't dilute anything in this process, so it's 100% bleach, 100% peroxide. So nothing gets water added to it, because again, when you mix water with bleach or peroxide, it's going to cause bleeding. So bleeding can occur with oversaturation and adding water. So, okay. So this one said, y'all can see how quickly, because I'm working in the best sunlight of the day, it turns really fast. And that's another thing, is if you're working with the right fabric, it's going to turn really fast. So these are all heathered colors, meaning they have speckled white in them. So, all right, this is my jet spraying. So you can't see it because I like to step back 2 or 3 feet. And then I just start spraying dots around that design area. So that way it looks like it's it will kind of blend in with that design area. And then I'll go on the other side. I'll do a few more in the other direction. But they're usually just very random. I don't really think about it. I don't think about how many I'm spraying. Sometimes I spray a lot. Sometimes I spray a little. It kind of all just depends on how I feel that day. That makes sense. So I'm going to do my other ones that are over here. We're going to let this guy hang out for a little bit. As soon as the splatters and everything turns white, we'll do the peroxide phase. So y'all are just going to kind of hear me walking around. If y'all have questions, feel free to ask those. I'll come back. I looked at my bottle today and mine says Performance Clorox Bleach. I buy it from Sam's. So I think it's more of like a commercial grade type of bleach. So that's a great question. So y'all are going to hear me walking around. I'm just working. So I will be back to this when it's ready. I like to throw my cutouts around. Sorry. But at least you know you're going to get a durable cutout. Oh, man. Check on this. They don't take long. That's usually why I do a bunch at once. Yeah, I do. So y'all are going to see that whole process on the back of shirts. So basically what we do is, once this is where it needs to be, which will probably take another minute, we peroxide the entire thing. The peroxide will stop the bleach and from like eating into the fabric. So it has like a small chemical reaction. If you're up close, you see like little tiny bubbles form. Then we flip it over, and we do it this way so that that bleach on the front doesn't sit on the shirt longer than the bleach on the back. So basically We bleach the front, peroxide the front. Once it's been peroxide, it will immediately stop the bleach from working into the fabric. Then we flip it over. We bleach the back with the splatters only. It doesn't get the big splotch. Then peroxide the back, and then they go inside and they get washed. Oh, thanks so much, Ebony. I've touched on this a little bit, and I've always been in the frame of mind that if people are going to build a business anyways in direct competition with me, I'd rather be friends with them than enemies and competing, because when you start competing and comparing yourself to somebody else, then you're going to lower your prices, try to be better than them, and then you're just going to start undercutting each other. So it would be awesome if, so let me say this first and then I'll say my idea. But a lot of, take for example, the Sawgrass printer that I have, it is sold with every dealer, every company. They all have to sell it at the same price. They can't buy it and then sell it cheaper to undercut their competition. And it's the same thing with a lot of things out there. The Silhouette, the Cameo, a lot of those have like an MSRP. They have a market value that they have to be set at. And I feel like if we all band together and said, we're going to charge $35 for our shirts, no matter what, and there was nobody undercutting us, there was nobody trying to steal business from us by undercutting and charging $15 for a shirt, we could all have super successful businesses. But because there are people out there going, oh, well, if I charge half price, I'm going to take their customers, I'm going to steal I'm going to steal from my competition, and I'm going to make all this money. In the end, that person that's doing that is not going to make money. They're going to barely be able to cover cost of their materials, but then they've put a strain on us who are doing it at that higher price, but are making less sales because people can go and find it cheaper. This is why I do this, because I'm like, if I teach you guys how to do it, then when I am busy or I can't take on any more orders, I can go and say, hey, you know what, Ebony over here, she definitely can. She can handle it. I'm on vacation, or I don't have the time, but I've taught her everything she knows. She's got you. And I've done this so many times in my business that a lot of people have been like, well, are you scared that your customer's not going to come back? If they like your business better, that's okay with me. Honestly, not everybody's going to love me. Not everybody's going to love the way I do business. Not everybody's going to love the way, my turnaround time, or, the way I communicated. I've seen that a lot lately, that people are like, I would just wish you would communicate better. And I'm like, everything is on the website. My turnaround time, everything is there, but some people want more of a one-on-one connection, and I try to give that, but we're very busy. So if they like that better with you, that's okay. I still will have customers that love me for me. This is kind of the same thing. That's a good point to point out too, is their quality is probably not there yet either. They're learning, which is, why people come back to me after they've gone to my competition sometimes. But that's what I'm saying. I just wish we could all band together, have a market price, and then that way customers can't go look for anything else. They know no matter where they go, they're going to get charged $35 for a bleach t-shirt, and nobody's going to be charging cheaper. It would make life so much easier, but that's just not how it works. All right. So now, this is good, and I want to show you. You guys see this little spot right here? It bled just a little bit, because that's where I sprayed that jet setting bottle, so it put a lot right there. So I just wanted to show you all that. It still looks fine. All right, so same bottle, same Great Value bottle. It is covered in tape because the peroxide comes in a brown bottle because you're not supposed to, it can't be exposed to sunlight or high temperatures, because basically if you do that, peroxide is no longer peroxide, it's just water. So I always have it in this bottle, and I always wait to put peroxide in it until I need it, and it stays in the brown bottle until then, so that it is the most like potent level of peroxide, if that makes sense. So I basically take it. It is in that same mister setting, so it's going to give out a fine mist and not like jet spray settings. And then I start to just, once I first fill it up, it takes a minute. But I start to just kind of, I'm spraying my sleeve right now, but I go over all the splatter areas first. Because the wind will usually blow some over that. But again, if you oversaturate this, that's going to cause even more bleeding. So spray everywhere else. That's going to stop the bleach from working. Then I go over the center. And you see how I pulled it away just a little bit? I don't want it to get too much in one area. Then I'm going to do this sleeve over here real quick. And so I like to give it a minute or two to let the bleach kind of soak in before I flip it. So I'm going to work on a couple more shirts over here, and I will be back over here in just a second. Good. Didn't bleed or anything. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes if you overspray your peroxide, it will bleed. No, I don't let it sit. So here, I mentioned this earlier, but anytime you add water into this process, it's a bad thing. Like, go look at that Post Malone shirt. I usually would not have even posted it, but people loved it. You see, if you go and look at it, all that pink that's around the bleach area, I mean, and it's a lot. It's basically the entire shirt. That is all from introducing water too soon to the process. And what I mean by that is that day we were trying something new where we were like, we bleached the entire thing, front and back. Then we peroxided the thing front and back, and then we took it inside and put it in the washer. All the shirts we did that to, bleach bled everywhere. Some were worse than others. It was just an utter disaster. And I've noticed too, like when I first started the process, I diluted my peroxide. So that means I had water in my peroxide. It too would bleed the bleach. Anytime you seem to add water into this process before bleach is fully dry or the peroxide is fully dry, it is just going to cause a lot of bleeding. And then the pretty little cutout that you've used to make it look all pretty, you won't even tell it's there anymore. So don't add water, don't do a peroxide bath, don't do any type of things until you are ready to wash it. Don't add anything. Yay, you have like 7 things shipping out tomorrow. You have your Valentine's Day bundle shipping out. You've got the freebie that you won. You got the 1 order. You got the bleached cutout. I mean, you've got your hoodie. You've got like, I know there's like 7 or 8 orders that are going out for you. I've started this large box. I'm like, I don't know if it's going to hold it all. I have to get another one. All right, so I'm going to bleach this hoodie really quick. And then we're going to flip this guy over. And I'm going to show you with the back side. All right. And I'll probably show you guys a hoodie next, because I line them up just a little bit differently, but not a bunch. Actually, no, I'm going to show you another Highland cow. No, I'm going to show y'all a hoodie. I'm gonna stick to what I said. So we're like, okay, she's going crazy. Alright, let me get this one splatters, and then we're going to flip this guy over. May or may not have seen my TikTok videos or my lives, but I have like a running joke that the people go the other way, that the people that come down this road are probably like, what is wrong with her? I always dress really super weird when I bleach. I look like a housewife right now. I've got like a thing covering my hair so the hair doesn't blow in my face. And then I'm wearing sweats and like an oversized sweater. And so they're coming to check on their property, their lot. They're about to start building their house. And they always slow down real slow right before they get in front of the house. And they look over here like, what is she doing? I use Toltex for any hoodies and sweaters. Alright, so again, we're going to take this bottle, same bottle. This one's got the jet spray settings. So I like I said, I usually go back. I go back 2 or 3 feet because then it looks more unintentional versus if you were up close, your dots would look like you meant them to be that way, or you meant it to be like that. So I try to go for a very like splattered, like thrown on, you know, like it's almost like if you were to take a brush and just slap it across the canvas, like that's kind of the look I'm going for. You know what? It's funny. One of the person in our VIP group, I actually was like, I let in new members that day, and I said, okay, she can join. And then I was like, oh, this is like one day I actually looked cute while bleaching, like I was fully dressed. Usually I don't even wear a bra. It's probably not need to know information, but whatever. So I was like, oh, I'm going to snap a picture. So I snapped a picture and I was like, I got a lot done today. She commented on there and was like, I saw you. Just wanted to let you know we're looking for property. And I totally saw you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, thank goodness I looked good that day. But I'm like, that might have set her expectations way higher than what she's actually going to get. So here's the thing with Jiffy. Jiffy runs out of Toltecs a lot. And so when they run out of them, versus just saying they're out, they take them off of their website. And then they'll put them back on once they get more in stock. So I honestly order straight from Toltecs. Now, in order to do that, you need a wholesale license and you need to get an account with them. And then once you get an account approved with them, then you can order directly from the manufacturer, if that makes sense. I was going to start ordering their shirts, but their shirts are a lot thinner. So I would totally stick to Gildan and Anvil shirts. So, all right, let me get a couple more shirts on form while y'all watch that. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead once this is done and I explain the last bit of it, that I'm going to stop it here. And that way, for those people who want to rewatch it, they're not going to rewatch like an hour-long video. Keep it short and simple. And then I'll probably do like another live one day like I do on TikTok, where I usually, I'm probably going to go live on TikTok afterwards, but because I usually will just keep changing the shirt in front of the camera, because with TikTok, people pop in, pop off, and TikTok live videos don't stay on TikTok. So, I have to show people as they come in and out, versus with this is going to save in the group, and anybody coming in and out of the group will be able to rewatch the entire thing and be able to skip forward or go back or rewatch sections. So I don't want to make it too terribly long. That's almost there, honestly. Yeah, so that is my plan, is everything that I do or have done live on TikTok, I plan to do at least once with you guys in this group. And then to save them so that anybody can come and rewatch them. Sorry, excuse me. So let me explain how I finished these, and then I'll talk about like my plans for the content in here. So basically this is done. I'm going to spray it with the peroxide just like I did the front. I'm going to let it sit for a couple more minutes. Then I will pull it off the form. And usually they just kind of hang out here until we have enough to go in the washer. And I like to do that because then they get fully dry. We have had like perfect shirts lately. We have like one here or there that messes up, but we have found that letting them dry completely out, they don't bleed. There's no like stains on them. They just come out clean and crisp and nice. And I know some people don't like that look, but that's the look I'm going for, and that's the look I'm selling to my customers. So that's what I do. So basically I will keep working out here. And then once they're dry to the touch, like I can't feel any wetness in any of the areas, then I usually will have that's when my husband comes out and he'll grab them from me and he'll just start throwing them in the washer. And then once we have a full load, we stop and then we wash. With sweatshirts, that usually means we probably are going to get about 20 sweatshirts. And then I'll usually try to do like 5 to 10 shirts because they'll fit in there, but I don't overload it too much with that. So washer settings, I will probably do a really quick video on this and throw it in the comments of this video so it stays with this video. But I have a commercial washer, and this is why a video on TikTok went viral, because of my washer settings. Apparently it had too many and people are like, whoa, what is up with your washer? But I have all these settings on my washer, but essentially what you're wanting is hot water. I usually do it on the white setting because it's going to do a really, really thorough like cleaning. And then I honestly I wouldn't chance it. When you heat up bleach, even though the bleach should be fully stopped by the peroxide, there might be a little bit residual bleach left because it hasn't dried yet. But whenever you heat up bleach, it creates toxic fumes. So that's what I would be worried about. But that's on you. That's your choices to make. I just don't know if I would recommend it. No. I'm honestly not. I'm like, I don't understand how it... I'm going to spray this with peroxide while I talk to you. I don't understand why that washer is so crazy. To me, I'm like, honestly, and I haven't even put this out here, but most of y'all don't know our struggles, but we struggled a lot the first time my husband lost his oil field job. Like, we weren't ready. And it financially broke us. And I had these really nice, like ruby red, y'all know the washers I'm talking about, those, HEs, the ones that come with the stand that are like thousands of dollars. That's what I had. And when he lost his job, and we were working like 5 or 6 jobs, but we were living above our means at that time, which is why when we bought this house, we came all the way out in the middle of nowhere so that we could get a lower price point. And it could be within our means, even if he lost his job, which glad we did that because he lost his job as soon as we moved into this house. But anyways, all that to say, I sold those washers to pay bills, and that washer and dryer set to pay bills. And then I went out and bought the cheapest washer dryer combo I could find. And that was the washer that I have. I haven't even upgraded. I'm like, it works. I love it. Like, it's a badass washer. So when everybody was all like, oh my God, your washer, I love it. In my head, I'm like, it brings me back to when I was failing in life and I had to like downgrade to this washer because you got to do what you got to do. So for me, I'm like, I don't think it is badass, but it's funny how, perspective. Because when people are like, oh my gosh, I love that washer, I want one just like it. And to me, I'm like, well, this was like me losing everything type of a deal. So it's been kind of interesting to see that that's what happened when it went on TikTok. So anyways, yes, we are in North Texas right now. So basically, this guy will go inside once it dries. Like I said, hot water, your white setting. Or just like if you have, like mine has a soil level setting, so I can say they're really soiled, so it'll wash it even better. But just make sure you're like, if you have a 2-cycle option or if you have a double spin, you want to wash and rinse as much as possible so it gets all the bleach and all the peroxide out. No, that was another thing. I throw everything in at once and we haven't had an issue. So a lot of people on that video also were like, oh my God, this is going to save me so much time if I don't have to like sort colors. That Odessa is where my husband was working in the oil field. So we went out to Odessa, Midland quite often. Okay, So that's it. I'm going to stop this here so that a bunch of people don't have to try to go through a lot of this video to find all the information. Hopefully I didn't talk too much. Hopefully I didn't put too much. A lot of times I like to stick a lot of personal stories in my bleaching videos to take up time. So I will be, like I said, they'll get washed in hot water. I tumble dry on low after they come out of the washer, and then they go upstairs, and then I hope it does. Honestly, with Biden coming president, I think the oil will get shut down completely like it did last time. I mean, if it does, it does. If he goes back to work, he goes back to work. But for right now, we're like financially stable to where he doesn't have to. But I know he wants to. It's honestly, it sounds corny, but that is like, he loves that job. He loves working in the oil field. And for the amount of, money it brings in and the amount of money we were able to save in order to buy this house just from him being back in it a couple of years, it wouldn't be a bad idea for him to work a couple more years to save up a little bit more. We used every bit of savings. When we moved here, he lost his job. We took any savings we had left and doubled down on this business. So far it's working, but that would be awesome if he could go back for a couple of years. We'll see. So anyways, go in the washer, dryer, and then I will be live probably later tonight to do the poly teeing and the sublimation process. So we'll do a live with, we'll do one live with poly tee so that it doesn't get lost. And then, like I said, we're going to have them all labeled and all in the group a certain way so you guys can see them. So we'll do poly tee, and then we'll do, we'll get off that live and we'll come back and we'll do a sublimation live. And then, any other things that you guys want to see us do, let us know. And we'll do at least one live. That way people can come back and watch them. Or y'all can add new members. Or new members can come in and see the lives too. So it works. On the gas side of the oil field. Gotcha. My husband is in the service industry. Basically, he services all the equipment to the rigs. So like if they need something like on their BOP or something like that, like he goes in with the equipment, throws it on, and then leaves. He doesn't work on the rigs. He doesn't work 12 and 12 schedule or anything like that. Yes. And that's why you have to bleach first, because you can't poly tee and then bleach. So you need to get all the bleach and all the chemicals out of your garment before you poly tee. Because if you poly tee and there's bleach residue or peroxide residue, it is going to severely mess up the poly tee. So yes, you need to wash out everything. And that's why somebody asked about doing a bath. Like if you just did a bath in the water, that's not good enough, because you're not going to get enough out. And then that's how you get the scorching. That's how you get the brown spots. And I'll explain all that in the poly tee video. But if you don't do the washing step, that's going to mess things up later on. So you're so welcome. I love doing this for you guys. I want us all to be like strong, powerful businesses, if that's what we choose to be, or just, doing the craft that we love and not having like headaches when it doesn't work out. Because I know I have those so many times. So I'm going to end this one. I'm going to get busy because it's supposed to be cloudy this afternoon. So I want to get as much done as I can now. And then I'll see y'all later this afternoon, this evening for the poly tee and sublimation process. So I will see y'all then.